Unheard of.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Unheard of. I am one of your hosts, Arthur Glass, and the other host is right next to me in our immersive view. Well, I mean, if you're watching this on YouTube or somewhere else, of course, if you're listening to us, then we're just gonna both be in your ears. So my co-host here is Jerod Evans. How you doing this week, man?
Hey man, doing how a Georgia fan can typically do. I'm surprised we even recorded this, but I figured Georgia would probably lose anyways because that's what happens when Kirby Smart goes against Nick Saban. But I'm still here recording on a Saturday night. Everybody in the house has been kind of in and out of sickness all week, but hey, I'm doing as good as I can be, I guess.
Nice, man. I'm doing all right. Thanks for asking.
I was going to. I just thought you was going to
I was
call me.
waiting. I was waiting on you. Well, I'm glad
How was
everybody's.
Maine? How was Maine? We talked about
All
it before
right.
the recording, but
Yes, Maine was good and cold. They had some snow there a couple of days before we got there, and then we had to work outside in the snow. So I had to bundle up. Had hoodie on, thermals, a big coat, my work shirt, which is it's a long sleeve shirt anyways. The gloves, balaclava. I even had to get hot hands. I considered getting the little feet warmer ones to put over your feet too.
yeah.
But I didn't have to go that far. One day I doubled up my socks, but it was too much. But yeah, just trying to stay warm. Like I'm way too close. Tested this already, but I had audio issues, so yeah, there we go. But yeah, it was nice. Stayed in the hotel a lot. I had my had a lobster roll, a authentic Maine lobster roll. It was pretty good. They make theirs with mayonnaise, like as the mix, but I mean, it wasn't like too much mayonnaise or anything like that. It was good.
Nice.
Yeah, 4 flights in 1 week. It was fun.
How was Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving was nice. Yeah, I'm sorry, everybody. We didn't have an episode last week. It was Thanksgiving. I had to travel to. It was a lot of stuff going on, so we didn't get a chance to record. My Thanksgiving was pretty good. 2 Thanksgivings. Me and Odessa went over to my mom's house on Thursday, and then on Saturday we went to her mom's house for Thanksgiving. So
Nice.
pretty nice. How was yours?
Yeah, we didn't have any family in, so it's just pretty small and intimate. My group of us and the 2 boys, and then we actually had Trace's birthday this past week, a couple of days ago, but we haven't really got to celebrate it that much, just because everybody's been kind of, like I said, we've been passing around a little bit of what seems like a stomach bug all week around the house. So yeah, our Thanksgiving was small, had some really good food, but it was nice. Yeah, nice change up.
Nice. Well, without further ado, I mean, we have a show to get into, so we have some topics for you guys this weekend.
Oh no, the view messed up.
And yeah, I guess we just started off with Jerod, man. What happened? What happened today? What happened to Georgia?
Well, guys, I was talking about it, how Bama is basically Kirby Smart's kryptonite and Georgia's in general. We people talk about teams that can't get over the hump, and basically our hump is Nick Saban. I think if we didn't have to go through him in the SEC game, this would have been a nice, easy year for the Dogs to get in the title. But I knew it was going to happen. Like as soon as Bama scored the first touchdown, the Dogs already looked deflated. I'm like, you guys are still up, but I mean, number one defense all year long, supposedly, but like the rest of the SEC is starting to become trash. Like there's like three or four good teams in the SEC now, consistently every few years. It's like Alabama, Georgia, Florida, Auburn, and that's about it really. Those are the only four consistent teams that are kind of in the picture every so often.
I mean, what has Florida done this season?
Not much. I mean, Auburn hasn't done much either, but I'm saying like
But yeah, but I mean,
typically those are the four teams, every few years that you can count on in the SEC that are somewhat decent. Recently, it's just been Georgia and Alabama, but Kirby Smart can't get past Nick Saban like at all. We're 0-4 against them all time now, and I don't know. I think Kirby Smart. I'll keep preaching this, but he's so conservative, man. Like he's not willing to do anything that is somewhat aggressive at all. Like they didn't really learn how to get after Bryce Young until like the second half of the game. And then by that time, game was almost over. And on top of that, our run game was okay, but God, Stetson Bennett, man, like I'm telling you, I don't understand this about Kirby Smart. We've got these crazy good 5-star quarterbacks to come in the system, and then somehow, some way, a guy like Stetson Bennett ends up starting on the team, who's like wasn't even playing last year. He's like our third string guy in practice camp this year. Somehow Kirby Smart, lets him beat JT Daniels. And, for all season, I was okay with it. We're winning games. But when you're losing and the dude throws a pick six, my next thought is, hey, maybe we should pull in Alabama and put in our next guy, to like freshen us up, throw Alabama off a little bit. Nah, Kirby's like, you know what? I don't even care about this game. So,
yeah, it did seem like he didn't care because I mean the pick six was his second pick that he threw.
And the first one he threw was in the end zone. Like, dude, Stetson Bennett really cost us the game. And I said this all year long, basically, that our defense was really good all year long, and we didn't have to rely on our offense that much. So when it came time for our defense to face somebody like Bryce Young, who carved us up, and we had to actually finally rely on our offense today, I was like, man, there's no way. Like, Stetson Bennett isn't the dude to take us over Alabama. Like, I don't know. If you're a quarterback looking to come to Georgia, please look at how Kirby treats you, man. Because look at how he treated Justin Fields. Justin Fields had to walk to Ohio State to get some recognition. Because for whatever reason, we're stuck like in the past with these dudes who can't do nothing.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. And me personally, I had no dog in this fight in the SEC championship, of course. But I can tell you this, nothing made me happier than seeing Georgia lose today. Nothing made me happier.
But see, I was expecting it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's documented. You said you were expecting it. But the people who weren't expecting it, they're expecting a blowout. Oh, Georgia by so many touchdowns. They're gonna be getting their revenge on Alabama this year. This is their year. All this stuff. I'm not happy. Excuse me, that Alabama won. I'm just happy that Georgia lost.
Yeah,
if that makes any sense.
Makes sense, dude. I mean, look, it was a rough day, and now there's talk. I've already seen the talk on Twitter because, like I said, they blew the brakes off of us. There's already talk on Twitter about the rumblings that the CFP might not even consider Georgia for the top four now with how bad Alabama beat them.
Now, I don't know if I would say that you guys should be out of the playoff contention.
I get it if we are, and it's only because like these other teams that they look at all year long, you literally like like when a team like Michigan loses or Alabama even with one loss, they lose so early in the season that they have all this time to make up their reputation. And then when we have a loss like that so close at the end of the season and it's so fresh, I think it's a bad look. But uh, I don't know, man. It's tough being a Georgia fan because what are the odds that Alabama jumps to 1 and we get in still at number 4? We'd have to face them a second week and probably get embarrassed again, except on whatever turf they choose for that bowl game, whatever. Uh, we'd probably have to go get whipped again. Kirby would become 0-5 against Alabama. Uh, I don't know, man. It's a lot of people were pretty hopeful. I mean, I was kind of hopeful. We have a really good team, I thought, this year, but second I knew we were facing Bama in the SEC game, I was like, here we go again. Kirby's gonna blow it. And you know, to the avail. I'm not even disappointed, really. Like at this point, this is just what Georgia fans are used to. You get so close, even as a Falcons fan, really. You just this is what you get accustomed to. Your team can become really good. You can get super close, and then it just all hope shatters.
Yeah, I mean that's what life is as a Georgia fan. And I'm like by Georgia fan, I mean a Georgia sports fan in general. But
Yeah,
I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like maybe if given the opportunity, you guys get in at 4, or even if they move Georgia down to 3, um, that you guys wouldn't squander that opportunity again, especially if you guys had to face Alabama again. I don't know. I feel like you guys would have them this time.
I actually hope that they put Bama at 1 and they put us at 4, just so Kirby has to go back and be like, hey, to be the man, you got to beat the man, Kirby. All right, go in there and beat Saban. Like Jesus Christ, like they did do a comparison. I saw some guy on Twitter did a comparison, like Kirby Smart's record compared to Mark Rick's, like one of our friends Drew was saying in the chat, is actually really, really similar. Like you take out the college football playoffs, and their records are eerily similar. So I don't really know what we're gaining if Kirby's not going to take us to the chip and start winning against Bama, because that's kind of what we brought him for, to get over the hump. And so far, 0-4 is not over the hump against Alabama. So I don't know, man. It's tough, but you know what? I'm used to it. Even my father-in-law, who's an Alabama fan, he actually I'll read some of the text messages.
Man's got receipts.
He said, he's like, Jerod, you got your wish. Georgia plays Alabama in the SEC game. Not sure it turned out like you hoped. Maybe next time. I was like, what I wanted was for y'all to lose against Auburn and to lose again, so we wouldn't have had to even see y'all in the playoffs. And then it goes on, and he's like, well, without disappointment, you can't enjoy triumph. Georgia's time is coming, maybe many, many years down the road, but you can always hope.
Many years.
I said, there's no hope in Georgia football, Robert. Only misplaced optimism and constant disappointment.
Oof.
I was like, I knew it was coming, dude. That's just life as a Georgia Bulldogs fan. It's what we deal with every year. We're just so close. I'm trying to think of another team in history that's been right there, and can never fully get it. Like, I think the Buffalo Bills went to the Super Bowl 4 times and lost in the 90s, like 4 straight times. And the Bulldogs, we can either make it to the playoffs and lose, or we can make it to the SEC game, face Bama, and lose. Like, those are usually our options. So we're just like right there.
So close. You're knocking on the door. Knocking on the door. Somebody has to be the one to bust it down.
Yeah.
But so if Georgia moves down to 4, then I mean, and Alabama goes to 1, then of course that's where that's who you guys will be playing. But
Mhm.
say Alabama still goes to 1, and then you all go, Georgia goes to 3, and if Michigan stays at 2, then you guys will be playing Michigan, right?
Yep.
And Cincinnati would be 4. But I don't. Cincinnati's number 4 right now, right?
Yeah.
So,
Michigan actually looks pretty tough.
yeah. Who did they play today? Iowa.
Yeah.
They beat the brakes off Iowa. What was the score of that game? Do you know? I have it. Never
It's
mind.
like
I have it right
42 to
here.
3.
Oh my God! Yeah, they beat the absolute dog mess out of them. Jesus Christ. Yeah. I mean, that's exactly what you would expect the number 2 team to do.
Speaking
Uh,
of Michigan,
Speaking of Michigan,
yeah, speaking of Michigan,
what what about Michigan?
that's our next topic. Michigan.
Oh,
Speaking
yeah,
of
yeah,
Michigan,
yeah. True. Yeah, yeah. Um, well, this is more, of course, tragic news about a school shooting that happened in Michigan this week, or this week. What is it? 3 or 4 days ago now?
yeah.
3 days ago. Um, but it was at Oxford High School in Michigan. Um, yeah, 15-year-old. What was his name, Jared? Do you remember?
Uh something Mulberry, I think. I don't know. I can't remember the kid's name because I've been reading other stories about his parents, and there was one kid that actually died, trying to save the other children. I say children, like, but it's a high school.
No, it was the teenager's name is Ethan Crumbly.
Yeah. Crumbly.
Yes. And you know, I just feel like these shootings are just becoming more and more commonplace, that people are really just desensitized to the whole thing now, you know?
Uh I'm kind of desensitized, but I hope that them charging the parents with involuntary manslaughter kind of wakes people up, like to take charge of your own lives and like what you're doing inside your household. Because like those parents are fools, man. Literally bought this weapon for their 15-year-old son for Christmas. Um, and then he was found researching ammunition for said gun, like the day before the shooting happened, I believe. Um, Also, pictures of him on Facebook with it, posing with the gun, like my new beauty or something like that. But basically, when he was caught at school researching ammunition, um, like the school called the parents, and at first they didn't really answer. They left like a message, and then the mom texted her son saying, "LOL, I'm not mad at you. You just have to try better to not get caught." And then, like literally, I think the day of the shooting, they found a drawing of him uh, that he drew of like the gun on a desk or something. And then they called his parents, and the counselor said that they should the counselor said he should get into counseling. And supposedly at this time, the parents knew that the gun was not in their house, but they didn't ask their son about it, and they just let him walk right back to class to then carry out the shooting. And then there was a text message from the father like saying, "Don't do it." I'm like, you guys are such idiots. Like those parents are partly what's wrong with the country. They bought a weapon for their 15-year-old son that it doesn't even seem like they bought it for like recreational use, like hunting or going out to the range. Like they bought it as like a play toy for this 15-year-old kid, and he's out here posing on Facebook with it. And turns out, kid's got mental health problems, and he's like drawing weapons and everything else, but they're not going to put him in counseling. And yeah, I'm glad they were charged with involuntary manslaughter. I'd like to. I don't know if any of our buddies feel any different way about this, but I'd love to go one on one with somebody who thinks the parents shouldn't have gotten charged because they definitely should have, given what's been released. Um, I don't know, man. As far as like being like desensitized, uh, I've seriously considered like buying those backpacks with the Kevlar vests that you can pull out, like for my sons. Like when my son hits middle school, that's when stuff starts to really like get crazy, you know. So I've really thought about when they hit middle school to buy those vests, like those backpacks that you can pull out. Just because I don't know, man. It's like people don't want to believe it, man, but it's scary. Like, you know, they don't want to think anything about it until it happens to them. So like I got kids, so I'm kind of scared about it, you know, growing up in this world. But I mean, it's a shame for that high school, and it's a shame that those parents weren't like reported to DFACS or something, you know, when the counselor recommended counseling and they had reported these actions about their son. Um, so I don't know. I mean, it's a tragedy overall, but I don't think I'm desensitized. I actually fear for my sons and actually like growing up in this.
Yeah, man. Definitely get where you're coming from. Because I mean, I don't have that point of view because I don't have kids or anything like that. But I mean, I still do feel, you know, something for these kids that are having to go to school and everything that's being put on social media. Because I mean, what he also posted on Instagram, and in one of his accounts he said that now he becomes death and all
Yeah.
this stuff. And he said like, see you tomorrow in Oxford. And like a lot of it seems like everybody except for people who actually had the power to prevent this knew about it. Like all the teenagers knew what was going to happen, knew what was going on. And it's just like no one would take it seriously. No one would listen to them. Because like kids were talking about how they were some kids had like didn't go to school that day because I mean they basically knew what was going to happen.
Yeah.
And so if they would just take some time and actually listen and take this seriously, listen to the kids, then maybe a lot of this would also be, you know, not happening.
Yeah. And I think there's some, honestly, people are against like things like the metal detector idea. But honestly, like you set up a row of metal detectors for these kids to walk into. I mean, if they're coming in and out of the same place like every day, what's the big deal, right? Like they walk through and then the rest of the time they're at school, it's not like they feel like they're in a prison. They're just going to class and everything else.
Yeah.
You just have that one little checkpoint. I go through like 4 metal detectors at work on a daily basis. Like I think walking through one in the morning and like when you leave isn't a big deal. Just, you know, just as like a precaution, man, like because kids are bringing in some wild stuff.
Yeah. And I mean, with those metal detectors, I mean, they already have metal detectors at a lot of like at schools and like inner cities and stuff like that. So I mean, that probably does help curb on students bringing in knives, guns, anything like that. So I just feel like it would be a lot simpler to help curb that stuff from happening, just to put in a couple metal detectors at schools, just to
Yep.
save these kids' lives, man. So just so they won't have to worry about it.
Yeah, I don't get what the freedom argument is against metal detectors in schools. To me, I'd rather have my kid's life. I mean, just to walk through a metal detector doesn't seem like they're really giving up much freedom because you shouldn't be allowed to bring weapons in anyways to
Yeah,
a school campus. Like it's not like the 1920s, dude, where you could have a shotgun in the back of your truck, like for whatever reason, like, I guess we're living in a different world than they did back in those days. Like I don't know. I think there's a lot of kids now who have these mental health problems, and a lot of them get ignored. Uh, and then stuff like this happens. And really, I mean, this is like mostly a white kid problem because I'm pretty sure like 95% of all these school shooters are white kids.
I mean, yeah. I mean, hey, you said it, not me. But
I'm just saying.
I
Like,
mean, yeah, I mean, that's just, I guess, I mean, I don't know what the exact percentage is, but I mean,
hey
it
man.
does seem like a predominantly white thing that's happening. So,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just like it's weird, man. Like I don't know, like I try not to think about it too much, but yeah, I mean I literally search up the prices to like those backpacks and everything almost once a year. Just because like I'm like really weird about it. Like when I see the headline, I'm like, "Oh, another school shooting." But then like you just constantly see it throughout the year and you're like, "Dang, I got kids and this is really jacked up." So, it's yeah, it's a weird thing. I got oh, actually there's statistics right here. Between 1982 and November 2021. So, this one wouldn't be included. But there have been 125 mass shootings in the US, and 66 out of the 125 were carried out by white shooters. There were 21 African Americans, 10 Latinos. So white people account for 53% since 1982. I guarantee if it started with like the 2000s, that number would probably be bigger though. I'm surprised this goes back to the 80s.
yeah, well, I mean, it is over half. So, I guess
Yeah.
I mean, it's still a predominantly white thing, but
I don't know, man. It's like when all these problems come out, like the big Parkland school shooting, uh I think what that kid had literally graduated the previous year, and he was mad because like his girlfriend in high school broke up with him. Um and then he went and carried out that whole thing. So I don't know, it's really weird that stuff like this happens because I mean I really don't understand how we could have such a mental health problem. I feel like I mean I kind of saw what you grew up with and you kind of saw what I grew up with. Now, I I would I would say that my the problems in my household were maybe talked a little more than maybe most people's now, but like if a girlfriend broke up with me, I'm not thinking about going to shoot up anybody, right?
no,
Like I'm processing that internally and that's it. Like I don't
yeah, I mean,
like I don't have
you're a
any problems like that.
rational human being. I mean, I'm the same way. If anything, you know, just insane happens to me, I'm just not that I'm fine with it. I deal with my emotions as they come, but yeah, never once has the thought to cause physical harm to a lot of people, especially in that way. I mean, it's never crossed my mind, never ever. And I don't think it ever will. I mean, it's hard to tell the future, but yeah, I just don't think it ever will. Nothing like that would ever happen to me. And I don't see how people can get it into their brains that this would help them in any way. I mean, mental health. I mean, I know probably hard for them to discern what actually will help and what will help and what is good for them in the moment. But even in that moment,
Like maybe it also ties back to social media, like uh I mean the listeners, you guys probably know this. Um like Arthur and I did have a classmate that committed suicide our freshman year. Um
yeah,
and we was in band with her and everything. Now the outlier, I mean there were some reports that she wasn't happy with her family life, but it seemed like the main thing was like she was bullied on social media for a certain event that led to her being unhappy like the following days. Um, and like now social media is like so in your face, like all these kids are on TikTok and everything else. Like literally, if you are rejected, you will know it right away. And people will make you feel like, I guess, when you're a teenager, you think differently. So if you're seeing so many people come after you, like I'm sure it's hard on your health, but I don't know. Maybe that's like one of the reasons why like social media wasn't that big for us just yet, but like what it's grown into, like everybody online bullying is like a huge deal now. So I don't know. Maybe like part of me thinks that has something to do with it too, just because kids are so I still have siblings who like post these crazy things on social media. And I'm like, who is making you feel like this? Like, if somebody is sending you a message, just turn it off. Like, literally, forget what they say. Nothing matters but what you think about yourself. Like that should be it. But I don't know. I guess kids are wired differently these days.
I mean, yeah. Um, I mean, I definitely feel like what affects these kids like self-esteem. A lot of it has to do with social media, and I mean, when I was a kid, when I was younger, and we had Facebook, we had MySpace, and all this stuff. But like,
We had the
I don't know.
beginnings of Facebook. Like
Yeah,
poking was still a thing. That was a big deal for us when we were in high school, poking on Facebook, just to put the record out there. It was Facebook was
of
not what it
course.
is today.
Uh, yeah, yeah. I
we
mean,
were
and
we
now
were
now
basically
today,
MySpace kids.
Facebook is just like for old people. So, but yeah, like back, and I want to keep saying back in our day, but like really back in our day of like being in, you know, middle school and high school, we just had good old fashioned bullying. And then I feel like we didn't even really have a lot of that either.
Yeah.
Like kids weren't just like getting beat up and thrown in trash cans and stuff like that. Like,
Like typically if you had a problem, you were like fighting behind the bleachers or in the parking lot.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's a lot safer than bringing a gun to school. You get the squabbles in, and then hey, whatever you get suspended. You go to ISS, whatever. I mean, at the end of the day, everybody's still alive. But yeah, I mean, I just don't know where the break has been to where nowadays kids just go straight for physical, like actual harming other kids to the point of death. And I don't know, it's just really scary to think about. Is
Yeah.
that that's where a lot of young minds are going to now to deal with issues.
Yeah, like we were literally Yeah, we were literally still figuring out how iPhones worked right before we graduated high school, guys. Um, so
Jerry's just trying to make it sound like we're old as dirt, bro. And like
well, no,
we're
no, no, we're not like old as dirt, but this is how fast technology has advanced, like in the last 10 years, dude. Like, I mean, just think about it. We're 26 now. What did you have at 16? Like technology wise?
a cell phone.
Yeah. I didn't have my first smartphone until I was like 17.
I probably got my first smartphone. I guess freshman year of high school.
Like I was still figuring out how to access Facebook on a flip phone whenever I had it, like in high school. So
Yeah, yeah,
literally that's it's just like how far I'm saying technology has gone. And yeah, man, I see things about siblings that I don't like where people are saying stuff to them on the Instagram and uh TikTok, which is why I'm saying like the rejection is just out there, like constantly. Because I feel like everybody just wants to be liked. And so they put stuff out there, and then if they're not liked, it's I guess they take it more personally than we did. But I don't know. I'd like to see if there's a study done on it still. Uh I'm getting away from the point, but Michigan, obviously it was a tragedy. I hope we don't get too desensitized because uh I'm not sure how far we go until stuff changes. Because the gun laws are really weird. Um, you're not really going to change a lot of gun laws in the country, but doing things like charging the parents for their really stupid behavior is, I think, a step in the right direction, like holding them accountable for their part in this as well. Um, so I don't know. Yeah, I hate it for you, everyone that's affected by the Oxford tragedy and everybody that's been affected all year. I mean, this isn't the only one. Even in Colorado recently, there was a kid that went to a park in Aurora and shot up like three of his friends in high school. I'm not sure if any of them died, but he just like brought a gun and injured them. So I don't know, man. It's starting to become like a weird, scary world kids are growing up in where like yeah, they're just resorting to gun violence like out of nowhere.
yeah. I mean, it's a terrible thing. I mean, that's all you can call it. It's terrible. You know.
Mhm. So
I mean, something definitely needs to be done. I mean, I don't have all the answers. I'm just a guy in Georgia. Just and who doesn't really have to worry about this stuff. But I mean, at the end of the day, we should be worried about this stuff because I mean, this is because I mean, if we want to have a future for, I mean, I don't have kids, but for my potential kids that could come, then I want them to live in the safest world possible.
yeah, like I
So
never thought when we were in school somebody's gonna come with a gun. But now kids grow up with like that as a real possibility.
well, that was at one time we had the fake little bomb threat in middle school. You recall that?
I recall it because I was actually not there that day when it happened. I was at a
Um,
doctor's appointment, I believe. So
um, but yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know where we go from here. How we go to it becoming better. But
I'm not sure.
yeah,
Seems like a conversation for the politicians.
yeah, for sure. Definitely, definitely somebody who can actually make a difference.
Yeah, not that they're
'Cause,
smarter than anybody because they're not. The people that we elect up there are complete idiots who don't even know
no,
how things like Facebook work.
no,
Um,
yeah, that's why I didn't say people that were smarter than us. just
Yeah.
people who can make a difference.
Yeah, on a and speaking of that on a lighter note, I know like Elon Musk tweeted out there should be like an age limit for running for president, I think, or was it Congress, where he said anybody over the age of 70 shouldn't be in a congressional position.
I mean, I agree.
I mean, I'd agree too, honestly. We got old people running a country that's basically built on technology now, and they don't know how any of it works.
I mean, yeah, they're gonna be ushered out of this world.
Yeah,
Pretty
if you guys ever
soon.
watch some of those congressional hearings where they bring like Mark Zuckerberg on, some of these guys and women are complete idiots. Like they literally, there was one with Zuckerberg, and one of the representatives on the committee was like, my granddaughter showed me this on the phone. Now, how did she access this through Google? And he's like, I'm the CEO of Facebook. Like it was man, some of those people, they just, yeah, there should be an age limit for those politicians.
But I mean, then we're I mean, in the next 20, I say in the next 20 years, you're gonna see a flip, of these. I mean, I say younger people, they're gonna be older by then, but then they're like once the 70-year-olds are done with their time in Congress, then you're gonna start to get people more like millennials that are actually gonna be taking taking over and making changes and stuff like that. So I mean, I say give it 20, 30 more years.
Yeah, 20 to 30 more years, I guess. Yeah. And then we'll be the old people, right? We'll be like close to 50. And
Yeah.
then we'll start thinking about, yeah, you know what? Screw that 25-year-old that's running for Congress. They're too young. They don't know how to do nothing.
But with the information age, with everything that we need is like pretty much right here in our hands. I feel like people are gonna just be getting smarter and smarter, and
Well, we keep saying that.
hopefully,
The information's at all of our fingertips now, and I still see a lot of dumb people on the internet.
yeah, yeah, but I guess give it some time. We'll hopefully have America healed one day. But
Yeah.
but I guess moving on from that kind of that definitely tragic topic, we got some more Spider-Man news. We got a new Spider-Man trailer for a different Spider-Man movie, not No Way Home. This is the sequel to the wildly successful Into the Spider-Verse, and it is called Across the Spider-Verse Part 1. And so, I mean, I guess as the trailer indicates, we're still going to be following Miles Morales, and we got Gwen Stacy's Spider-Gwen back, and the third Spider person in the trailer is Spider-Man 2099, which we also saw from the previous movie. He was getting into his own shenanigans. He's going to be involved in the mix. So, yeah, I mean, there's not a lot to go off of from the trailer, but just the fact that we got it out, we know that it's coming out soon. It's good.
Yeah. And it's gonna be a nice two-parter actually. Yeah, Across the Spider-Verse Part 1. Don't know how long it'll do to have a part 2. I know those animated films take forever, but maybe they're making them like at the same time. But I mean, hey, it looked pretty good, man. The animation still the same. Miles looked like he got a new suit, so that's pretty cool. Obviously, I'm a huge Spider-Man fan, so now the fact that I've got No Way Home coming out this year, and then this new Spider-Verse film coming out next year. Oh, it's gonna be like a good year and a half for Spider-Man fans.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Man. And you know, not to completely skip over the Spider-Verse, there's been just so many leaks and stuff coming out that's, oh, it's official, but it wasn't supposed to come out. So somebody's probably getting fired for this, but it was just a it was just a mistake that came out on the internet. That's happening about No Way Home right now. So supposedly, it's kind of confirmed that the other two Spider-Men will be in the movie.
Yeah. I mean, but have you not seen the leaked images?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I have.
Dude, so those leaked images of the three Spideys, like basically on a scaffolding set with a blue screen behind them. I was like, you know what? Maybe this could be fake. It looked very similar to what they called the deep fake video for Garfield, right? Um, but then you see the trailer for No Way Home, and what looks to be the final battle is that has scaffolding like all around it. And I'm like, there's no way this leak wasn't real at this point. Like,
Oh yeah. And then oh, I'm sorry.
no, I was just saying, like, I think it's the worst kept secret right at this point. I'm glad they didn't show him in the trailer because I'd still want to be surprised at how they enter in the film and everything. But I think at this point everybody knows they're going to show up. Um, but yeah, they're not just going to come out and say it. It's just going to be one of those things where we're all back in the theaters and we get to like experience it as a group and like get to have those big rounds of applauses again, when we see Toby and Andrew pop in.
I don't. I don't want any of that. I want these people to be quiet in this
Yeah,
movie theater, please, God, for the love of God. I don't want
dude.
anybody hooping and hollering and damn and clapping and all that shit while I'm trying to watch a movie, man. I hate it. I hate it so much. That's why I'm glad, like, and I've said this on the show before. I'm so glad that Warner Brothers did the whole we got stuff coming out on HBO Max at the same time as the movie theater, because when I watch the new Matrix movie, I'm gonna love every second of it, and I'm gonna love every second of it from the comfort of my house or my
Well,
hotel room, wherever I am.
I I will tell you this: when we went to go watch Endgame in theaters, obviously Endgame has the record now for like most money or whatever made at the box office. Uh, Tiff and I saw a matinee in the morning, opening weekend, not the same night as opening night. We saw it like a day or two late. Still, at a 10 a.m. show, place was booked, and literally, Tony Stark, like you can see the stones coming up in his suit, and I'm like, oh snap! I know exactly what he's about to say, but everybody wouldn't shut up, and I couldn't hear him say, "I am Iron Man." I was like, "Oh
Damn,
my god, everybody, please!"
I miss Captain America saying Avengers Assemble for the first time. Like it it's too much. It's too much. But I feel like we're getting a little bit off of the initial thing. I'm very excited for this new Into the Spider-Verse movie because, you know, as much as I would like to see Miles Morales in live action form, I don't know. I feel like this may be a little bit more fitting for him and a good way to tell kind of his story and everything. And so yeah, I'm glad that these movies are his movies. You know, like Miles
Yeah,
Morales. and not so much dealing with Peter Parker because I feel like we have so much content of Peter Parker right now. I mean, hell, we're about to have a movie with three of them in there.
Yeah.
Just the fact that it's something that's not. I mean, of course, most of the different Spider people in this movie are Peter Parker or a different version of him. Um,
And you got Peter Porker.
Peter Parker, yeah. Um, but yeah, just the fact that I feel like it's mostly Miles Morales is good to me and refreshing. So
I don't think it's going to be that long though. Like honestly, because things. So like if you've obviously kept up with Spider-Man over the years, my favorite animated series is the one they did in the '90s. That one got a bunch of recognition, which ended up leading to like the Tobey Maguire films. Um, like Miles Morales getting these huge animated features. Now he's got like his own PlayStation game. Um, I don't think it's going to be that long until we see a live action film with Miles Morales.
yeah, no, I don't. I mean, I don't think so either. I don't. I feel like it's probably just a few years. He's probably just a few years away from being introduced in the MCU.
And did you
So
know that like Miles Morales is literally like his version of like Spider-Man's powers are like so cool. I mean, they show him in the movie, obviously. Like he's got the bioelectricity, he can go invisible, and on top of all that, the man speaks three languages, guys. He is fluent in Spanish, English, and sign language.
yeah, I mean, the kid is smart. I feel like he's probably has the potential to actually be way better than Peter Parker. But yeah, I mean, I feel like Spider-Man is he somehow is Peter Parker is synonymous with Spider-Man, Peter Parker. But Miles Morales, how am I trying to say this? He's a very good close second.
Yeah. Well, I think you just needed that exposure. Like now, more people, I don't think, just think of Spider-Man as Peter Parker. Like now, like to me, Miles Morales has been getting a lot of exposure recently, thanks to the movies and all. So, yeah, I'm happy for it too. Shoot, that movie's going to be amazing. Sony's
Oh yeah,
animation style for the first film was like really good. You know that actual comic book style, but the graphics were like amazing, and the soundtrack was really good too.
yeah, man. Just to make it somehow look like it was like a comic book coming to life, even though like not really life. It's animated, but
Yeah,
yeah, it's really good, and I really like the actor who plays Miles Morales, Shamik Moore. Um, he is on the Wu Tang Clan TV show that's on Hulu. He plays Raekwon. So just to see like those two really him bringing those two. I mean, Raekwon is a real person. Um, just to see him bringing those characters to life from with two different mediums, just being
yeah,
animated and playing like a high school kid to playing a rugged ass rapper from New York. Like I mean, he has really good range, and so pretty
yeah.
much anything he's in, I like it. I look out for it. So
It's true.
I'm ready. I'm ready for this new Spider-Man movie.
Um, yeah. So you know what, folks, we're getting near the end here. I'm thinking it's almost time for a big episode, maybe with another two people. Maybe we get some of those old games back, like Psych or something. before the holidays. Um, Odds are we might take another 2 weeks off around Christmas, New Year's, just because I know how my schedule's going to be. ABG's a busy man as well, so we might don't be surprised if we decide on taking a 2 week break. Um, but yeah, we got some hot stuff coming for you. Hopefully, we can do some cool things for you around this holiday season. Um, but yeah, I'm looking forward to maybe the Bulldogs getting a second shot at disappointing me. And that's just how life goes. Um, Closing thoughts for the week. I'm just gonna say, as a Georgia fan, you wish for the best, but you expect the worst, right? That way, and this is like a motto of mine as well in real life, something that basically the army will get you to do. If you expect the worst and it happens, well, now you're not disappointed because you are already expecting it. But if you expect the worst and something really good happens, well, now you're overly excited. So expect the worst, but hope for the best.
Yeah, man. It's like it's like a great man once said, prepare for the worst, but still praying for the best. And that great man is Lil Wayne.
That's right.
But I don't know. Closing thoughts from me. Um, definitely, definitely thoughts going out to to everybody affected by the shooting in Michigan. And I mean, as I say all the time, if you made it this far into the episode, thank you. I mean, you guys are the reason why we make this show. So 10 times, thank you, thank you. And yeah, just we've said it before as closing thoughts, but just try to be good to each other. Try to put yourself in someone else's shoes and think just compassionately for a little bit, And if you don't have that capacity to do that, then I feel sorry for you.
Yep.
And that's all I got.
Wise words.
And you can find me on Twitter at young without the O _ ABG. And Jerod, where can they find you?
Yeah, you can find me at Jerod Evans, plain and simple for you. I'm still reeling over the TSA guys, but I've had a couple good posts on there this week. My wife got me an Xbox, and then the Bulldogs disappointed me, so I tweeted about those things. So, yeah, it's been an actually more than usual active week on Twitter for me.
Well, I mean, I'm still about as active as I always am, which is little to none. I like a lot of tweets, and then I don't really tweet that much, but I'm still there if anybody wants to find me. You can find us on Twitter at unheard_of_pod, and that's going to be the same on Instagram, Facebook. We have links. We have a page. We have a fan page. We have YouTube. You can usually find those links on Facebook to us in video form. And yeah, just find us. We're here, and we may be a little harder to find. But also, I was looking through our Spotify Wrapped, and we had a 33% growth of followers this year. And people were listening to us mostly in between 5 and 11 a.m.
Drive to work.
So 6 of you guys listen to us more than any other podcast. And, I mean, I can only just say thank you. Thank you for especially making me realize that, maybe people would like to hear me talk. I don't know. I mean, maybe Jerod helped me realize that. I don't know.
They're tuning in for one of us. I don't know which one yet.
Maybe both. I'm not sure, but I mean, I just
probably more you than me.
Thanks, you guys. Yeah, I mean, if you wanna take us, that's all I got. If you want to take us out of here, Jerod.
That's right, folks. So we hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. Thankful that you're spending this week listening to us between 5 and 11 a.m. We really appreciate it, guys and gals. But yeah, without further ado, we love you, we hear you, and we hope you hear us. Hear it unheard of.
And as always, I'm Arthur.
And I'm Jerod. And you just listened to
Unheard of.
Detectors.